5 players, 5 absences, 1 training session, and a Chelsea match arriving on Saturday with the pressure of a season already slipping through Liverpool's fingers. That is where we are right now. On Wednesday afternoon at the AXA training centre, Arne Slot walked out to oversee preparation for one of the most important home games left on this calendar. And the players who were not there to meet him tell a story that every Liverpool supporter needs to hear clearly. Alexander Isak, the £125 million striker who only just returned from 4 months out with a broken leg. Not there. Mohamed Salah, the man who has carried this attack for 9 years, now in the final weeks of his Liverpool career. Not there. Alisson Becker, one of the greatest goalkeepers in this club's modern history. Not there. Again, for the 10th time in the league this season. Ibrahima Konate, one of the most important defenders in Slot's system. Not there. No explanation confirmed yet. Georgi Mamardashvili, the backup goalkeeper signed to eventually replace Alisson, still sidelined with a knee problem. 5 players, all absent, all with different situations, all creating a different level of concern. And while those 5 were missing from the training pitch, something else was happening around this football club simultaneously. Something that goes far beyond one afternoon at the training ground. Transfer news was breaking, contract talks were advancing, leadership questions were being asked out loud. And the entire future shape of Liverpool Football Club was beginning to come into focus in a very serious way. This is not a slow news day at Anfield. This is everything happening at once. And right now, in this video, we are going to break down every single piece of it. Confirmed, reported, and what it all means for the club going forward. Stay with me, because this one matters. The training ground situation. 5 key players missing. Let us start with what is happening right now at the AXA training centre on Wednesday afternoon as Liverpool stepped up preparations for Saturday's home fixture against Chelsea. A significant number of first-team players were absent from the outdoor session. The names missing from that training session are not small names. They are Alexander Isak, Mohamed Salah, Alisson Becker, Ibrahima Konate, and Georgi Mamardashvili. 5 players, 5 very different situations, but all 5 absent at the same time. And that is a problem that Arne Slot cannot simply brush aside. Now let me go through each situation individually because they all tell a slightly different story. Alexander Isak. The situation with Isak is one that requires careful management. He suffered what was described as a minor groin problem last week. He missed the 3-2 defeat at Manchester United because of it. Now he has also missed Wednesday's training session. What makes this situation more delicate is the context around it. Isak only returned from a broken leg in April. That injury kept him out for nearly 4 months. Liverpool paid £125 million for this player. He is the club's record signing. And the medical and coaching staff have been very clear that they do not want to take any unnecessary risks with him. From an analytical perspective, that approach makes complete sense. A minor groin strain on a player who has only just returned from a serious leg fracture is not something you rush. The temptation is always there to push a player back quickly, especially with important games remaining. But the long-term picture must always come before short-term availability. Arsenal Slot is expected to give a more detailed update on Isak when he speaks to the media on Friday afternoon. That press conference will give us a clearer picture of whether he will be available against Chelsea on Saturday. Mohamed Salah. The Salah situation is perhaps the most emotionally loaded of all the absences. He picked up a hamstring injury during the match against Crystal Palace on the 25th of April. He was not available for the Manchester United game, and he was absent from Wednesday's session too. Now, the expectation is that Salah will return before the end of the season. His comeback target is understood to be the visit to Aston Villa next week. And regardless of that, he is widely expected to feature in the final home game of his Liverpool career against Brentford on the 24th of May. That match against Brentford carries enormous emotional weight. It will mark the end of 9 years at Anfield. 9 years that have produced extraordinary moments, extraordinary goals, and an extraordinary legacy. The fact that he is working to be fit for those final appearances tells you everything about his commitment to this club, even as his departure approaches. The analysis here is straightforward. Liverpool must manage his recovery carefully. Rushing him back against Chelsea and risking a further setback would be a decision that could cost the club dearly in those emotional final weeks of the campaign. Alisson Becker. This is where things get deeply concerning. Alisson's absence is not a new one. He has been dealing with a hamstring problem for some time now. And with Wednesday's session making it 10 league matches missed this season, the scale of his absence is becoming a significant talking point. Last week, Slot had indicated that Alisson was expected to return to training, but he was absent for the Manchester United game, and he was absent again on Wednesday. Here is the statistical reality. Alisson needs to play in all 3 of Liverpool's remaining league games to equal his own record of 28 appearances in a Premier League season. That record was set in each of the last 2 seasons. Right now, the goalkeeper, who is considered one of the best in the world, is on course for his lowest ever appearance tally in a Liverpool League campaign. And beyond the current season, there is a bigger question hanging over Alisson's future at the club. We will address that in detail very shortly. Ibrahima Konate. The reason behind Konate's absence is less clear. He was substituted in the closing stages of the Manchester United defeat, replaced by Federico Chiesa. Whether that change was precautionary or whether there is an underlying issue is not yet confirmed. What is confirmed is that he was not present at the outdoor training session on Wednesday. Slot will likely address this at his Friday press conference alongside the Isak update. Georgi Mamadashvili. The Georgian goalkeeper suffered a knee injury during the 2-1 win at Everton last month. Initial reports suggested he would be sidelined for approximately 3 weeks. He remains unavailable. This matters because with Alisson also absent, Liverpool are navigating this final stretch of the season with their goalkeeping options significantly stretched. That is a situation no club wants to find itself in during the business end of a campaign. If you're watching this and you want in-depth analysis on every major Liverpool story as it develops, hit that subscribe button now. Victor Liverpool Analyst brings you the full picture, not just the headlines. The leadership crisis, what Salah's words really revealed. Now, let's talk about something that goes deeper than injuries. Let's talk about the leadership question at this football club. After the 3-2 defeat to Manchester United at Old Trafford last Sunday, a conversation emerged that has been brewing beneath the surface for most of this season. The question of whether Liverpool have the right leaders in their dressing room. It started with an image. Before kick-off at Old Trafford, 4 Liverpool players, Florian Wirtz, Dominic Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones and Jeremy Frimpong, were filmed doing keepy-ups in the tunnel area over an hour before kickoff. Now, in isolation, this is not necessarily a major incident. Players stay loose, they relax before games. Some would argue it showed confidence, but the problem is results determine the narrative. And when you lose that game 3-2, when you play with the level of defensive fragility that Liverpool showed at Old Trafford, those images become evidence of a different kind. Former Liverpool midfielder Don Hutchison was vocal in his criticism. His view was that players from previous eras at this club would never have allowed those standards to drop. He specifically mentioned the environment created under Jurgen Klopp and the senior figures who maintained discipline in the preparation process. That brings us to Mohamed Salah's comments. Before the Manchester United game, Salah sat down for an interview with Sky Sports, and what he said was genuinely illuminating. He spoke about the culture he built at the club when he first arrived. He described how he made it his personal mission to come in early, to go to the gym before training, to set the example. Over time, he said other players followed that example. It became the norm. But then came the part that should make every Liverpool supporter pay attention. Salah said he had spoken to staff members and senior figures at the club and told them directly that when he leaves, they will need someone to maintain those standards. He said that if that does not happen, it will be very difficult for the club to keep winning things. He described it as one of his main concerns. That is not a throwaway comment. That is Mohamed Salah, days before his final weeks at this football club, raising a genuine alarm about what comes next. The evidence on the pitch supports that concern. Liverpool have lost 11 Premier League matches this season, 19 across all competitions if you include the Community Shield penalty shootout defeat to Crystal Palace in August. Those numbers represent a significant step back from the standards of the previous season. And the leadership question extends to the press room as well. Virgil van Dijk has consistently stepped forward after matches to face the media. Post-match interviews, the ones where difficult questions are asked after defeats, have largely been handled by Van Dijk alone. On very few occasions has he been absent from that duty. Szoboszlai has also made efforts to contribute, but by and large, too many of Van Dijk's teammates have avoided that responsibility. When asked directly whether he felt his teammates should be doing the same, Van Dijk's response was measured but telling. He declined to name individuals or criticize colleagues, but he made clear that he personally commits to that role because of how deeply he cares about this club. That mentality is exactly what made him the right choice to succeed Jordan Henderson as club captain. But here is the critical problem. Van Dijk is approaching his 35th birthday. He is entering the final 12 months of his contract this summer. The question of who replaces him as captain and as the primary leader of this dressing room does not yet have a clear answer. With Salah leaving, with Andy Robertson also departing, and with Alisson's future uncertain, this club is facing the potential loss of enormous experience and leadership all at once. The transfer developments, breaking everything down. Now let us move to the transfer stories because there is a lot happening and I want to be very precise about what is confirmed, what is strongly reported and what remains at the rumour stage. Arne Slot contract extension. Let us start with the most positive piece of news. Liverpool are set to offer Arne Slot a new contract that will keep him at the club until 2029. This is breaking news reported by a highly credible source in Paul Joyce. This is significant. In the middle of a difficult season, with questions being asked about the mentality of this squad and the performances in big games, the club's hierarchy is making a clear statement of intent. They believe in Arne Slot. They want him here for the long term. They are not panicking. And when you look at Slot's body of work since arriving at the club, that confidence is understandable. The league title was won. His tactical philosophy has been implemented. The squad has been reshaped. This is not a manager who has lost the room or who the club has lost faith in. Slot's agent, Rafaela Pimenta, added further insight into the relationship between the manager and the club. Speaking publicly, she described negotiating Slot's original move to Liverpool as the most satisfying transfer of her career. She spoke about growing up in Brazil, watching Liverpool from afar, and then suddenly finding herself negotiating the manager's contract for one of the biggest clubs in the world. She called it one of the most impactful moments of her professional life. Those words paint a picture of a manager and a club that are genuinely aligned. The contract extension to 2029 cements that alignment for the medium term. This is a strong piece of news for Liverpool supporters, Alisson Becker and Juventus. Now let us address the Alisson situation at the transfer level because it is more advanced than many people may realise. Alisson Becker has agreed personal terms with Juventus on a contract until 2029. Juve are now working to reach an agreement with Liverpool over the actual transfer fee. Let me be very clear. This is reported as a done deal. At the personal terms stage, the player and the Italian club have agreed the contract. What remains is the club-to-club negotiation. The analysis here is important. Alisson is one of the greatest goalkeepers in Liverpool's history. His contributions to the Champions League, the Premier League title, and the various other trophies this club has won over recent years are undeniable. But he has now missed 10 league matches this season. His contract situation and his apparent willingness to move to Juventus suggests that both the player and the club may be ready to move in different directions. If Alisson departs this summer, Liverpool's goalkeeping situation becomes a priority area of recruitment. Mamardashvili, already at the club in terms of a completed deal, is the expected long-term replacement. But whether he is ready to step in as the number one immediately is a question the coaching staff will need to answer. Rio Ngumoha, long-term deal. On the youth development side, Liverpool are preparing a new long-term contract for Rio Ngumoha. The club views him as a future star, and an agreement is expected soon. This is a positive development. Securing young talent on long-term deals is how elite clubs protect their assets and maintain continuity. The fact that Liverpool's recruitment team sees Ngumoha as a future star tells you something about the internal confidence in this player's potential. Virgil van Dijk, replacement targets. Liverpool have identified a two-man shortlist to replace Virgil van Dijk in the long term. The two names are Nico Schlotterbeck of Borussia Dortmund and Alessandro Bastoni of Inter Milan. Both players are viewed as ideal left-sided central defenders. The club is planning ahead given the uncertainty over Van Dijk's future beyond next season. Schlotterbeck recently signed a new deal at Dortmund, which makes any potential deal more complicated, but the report suggests he could still be attainable. Bastoni is widely considered one of the best centre-backs in world football. His performances for Inter Milan this season have reinforced that reputation. Securing a player of his quality would be a major statement of intent. This remains at the shortlist and consideration stage. No bid has been made. No negotiations are confirmed. But the fact that Liverpool have a clear plan for Van Dijk's eventual replacement is reassuring from a long-term structural perspective. Denzel Dumfries from Inter Milan. Liverpool are revisiting their interest in Inter Milan right-back Denzel Dumfries. The Dutch international has a release clause in his Inter Milan contract worth €25 million. Liverpool initially showed interest in January, but that move did not materialise. The attraction is clear. Dumfries offers pace, versatility and a proven track record of success in Serie A. For €25 million, he represents genuine value in the current market for a fullback with his profile. With Trent Alexander-Arnold having departed, Liverpool's needs at right back are well documented. Dumfries is not a confirmed target at this stage. This is being categorised as ongoing consideration. But the combination of his release clause value and Liverpool's known requirements in that position makes this a story to watch closely. Marco Senesi from Bournemouth. Liverpool are continuing to weigh up a potential move for 28-year-old Bournemouth defender Marco Senesi. The Argentine defender adds a left-footed option at centre-back. However, there is a significant complication. Senesi has verbally agreed to join Tottenham Hotspur if they avoid relegation from the Premier League. This is an important qualifier. Liverpool are weighing up the move, but they are essentially watching how the Tottenham situation develops. If Spurs stay up and Senesi honours that verbal agreement, Liverpool's interest may not be enough to secure the player. At this stage, this is interest and consideration only. It is not a confirmed pursuit, and it is certainly not a completed transfer. Midfield targets: Adam Wharton, Lamine Camara, and Mamadou Sangare. Liverpool's recruitment staff have been in close contact with the representatives of Adam Wharton since his breakthrough at Blackburn Rovers. He is described as strongly admired internally. Wharton is currently at Crystal Palace. His development has been closely tracked. This level of contact between a club's recruitment department and a player's representatives is a serious indicator of genuine interest, not casual observation. Additionally, Lamine Camara of Monaco and Mamadou Sangare of RC Lens are also among the emerging midfield targets being watched closely. One important qualifier is attached to all of this. Any additions will depend significantly on who departs this summer. If the club loses multiple senior midfielders, the scale of investment in that area increases. If the core stays intact, the approach may be more selective. The big picture analysis. What does all of this mean for Liverpool? Let us now pull everything together and look at what the full picture tells us about the state of Liverpool Football Club. This is a club in transition, not a club in crisis. There is an important distinction between those two things, and I want to be precise about it. On the positive side, the manager is being offered a contract through to 2029. That provides stability at the most important position in the club's football structure. The title was won this season. The infrastructure at the training ground and the recruitment network remains strong. Young players like Rio Ngamoha are being tied down on long-term deals. The club has clear targets identified for multiple positions, but the challenges are real and they are significant. Liverpool could lose Mohamed Salah, Andy Robertson and Alisson Becker in the same summer. That is not just 3 footballers. That is over 1,000 appearances worth of experience at this club. That is 3 players who have won the Champions League, the Premier League, and multiple other trophies together. That is 3 individuals who have set the cultural and professional standard in that dressing room. Salah himself has flagged the leadership concern publicly. The keepy-ups incident at Old Trafford, regardless of how small it may seem in isolation, became a symbol of a broader question that this squad has not yet fully answered. Who steps up when the icons are gone? Van Dijk is doing everything he can. His consistency, his willingness to face the media after defeats, his commitment to this club despite the difficulties of this season, all of that speaks to the character of the man. But he is 34. He is entering the final year of his deal, and the field of candidates to fill the leadership void he will eventually leave behind is not yet clear. The injury picture heading into the final weeks of the season adds further pressure. With 5 key players absent from Wednesday's training session, Arne Slot faces a significant team selection challenge ahead of the Chelsea fixture. And while Chelsea have lost 6 consecutive games and have gone through their own managerial instability, Liverpool cannot afford to take that match lightly, given their own inconsistency in recent weeks. The transfer window will be the real test of this club's ambition and planning. If Liverpool successfully bring in a top-quality central defender, a technically gifted midfielder, and address the right-back and goalkeeper positions, then the transition that is coming could be managed well. But if the departures outpace the arrivals, the gap in experience and quality could take more than one season to close. This is not a Liverpool in freefall. This is a Liverpool at a genuine crossroads. The decisions made in the next 3 months on contracts, on transfers, on captaincy, on culture will define the trajectory of this club for the next 3 to 5 years. Arne Slot appears to have the full confidence of the hierarchy. The manager's contract extension to 2029 makes that abundantly clear. And if Slot is given the tools he needs this summer, if the recruitment is smart and the right leaders emerge from within the group, then the foundation that Salah, Van Dijk, Robertson and Alisson helped build does not have to crumble the moment they leave. But if the summer is mismanaged, if the culture erodes, if the leadership vacuum is not filled, then Salah's warning words about standards slipping will prove to have been prophetic. This club has navigated transitions before and come out stronger on the other side. The evidence of that is in the trophy cabinet. The question right now is whether this group of players, this manager and this board have the clarity and the collective will to do it again. That is the real story at Liverpool Football Club. I am Victor. Stay analytical, and I will see you in the next one.